Hey everyone, this is going to be a more vlog style video just because my tripod isn't tall enough to reach to the enclosure I want to do a tour of, but I want to explain to you why my Crested Gecko lived in a bin cage and now he's in like a small Exoterra, and then I want to show you his final cage. So I'm going to do a couple different cage tours of the evolution of the home of my Crested Gecko Branch. He is a Harlequin Crested Gecko. He's very sweet. He still has his tail. He does not like being handled at all. I have tried. I've worked with him. He does not like it, so I'm not going to force it. If he doesn't want to, that's fine. He does take Pangea mix off of my finger, and he also will let me like hand feed him mealworms sometimes. But other than that, he doesn't want anything to do with me, and that's fine. He can live his life in there. I don't care. That's his deal. So I'm going to show you what my evolution of his cages. The branch started out in this tub. It is like a little Tupperware situation that I had him in. It is not very big. It was literally just so I could keep an eye on him, track his poops. He had paper towel down here and just a bunch of fake plants stuck to the side. I just wanted to be able to track his food, track his progress, because he was taking forever to grow. And I was worried I was doing something wrong, so I moved him out of this tank into this tank so I could monitor him for quite a few months actually. And now that I see he's pooping okay, he's eating okay, he is totally fine, I moved him out of this into this. This is Branch's bioactive setup. While he was living in that other cage, I worked on his bioactive setup. So it has the drainage layer down here, it has the soil. This is all from Josh's frogs. I also have the leaf litter, and he has some sphagnum moss in there. So I'm gonna open it. Branch is sleeping right there, so I don't want to disturb him too much. So I'm only gonna open one side. This is obviously his cup of Pangea. I use a mix of Pangea and Repashy, so it kind of depends what I give him each day, but he has a ton of fake plants. The whole thing is bioactive except the plant situation. I tried for as long as he was in the bin cage to get plants to grow, and they just died, so I don't know. He does have a cleanup crew in there though. I made sure that they had some time to situate before I put him in there because he likes to eat them. Ooh. Hi, sir. He's a very, very pretty gecko. He has a ton of fake plants. He has a cork round back there, and then these fake bamboo situations. And then he has this stone plate thing that I use to put his mealworms in if he is sleeping while I put them in, so he doesn't have to like eat off the soil. But that is basically it. It's a 12 by 12 by 18. I'm gonna close this again because he is looking feisty. He's a feisty little boy. There he is. He looks like he wants to start murdering people, but that's okay. Feisty dude. So I just missed it twice a day. I wish I could get some fake plants to work in here because they do hold humidity better. I actually do usually keep the dubia roach colony up here on half of it to kind of hold humidity in a little better. And then I do have these two like stick-on ones. I know they're not the absolute best, but I don't really know what a better gauge is. I do have a thermometer right here, like a digital one, that I do want to install. I just have to figure out how to get it through the lid. I'm debating either switching this mesh out into that kind of grid that was on the bin, or leaving it and puncturing it. I'm not sure yet. So that's the only reason I don't have that in. He's only been in here for a couple days and he's still doing good. He looks a lot happier, honestly. He's sticking to the wall. In the bin cage, he would sit on the ground a lot, which I was kind of worried about, but he's doing a lot better. He sticks to the wall. He hides behind trees. He's exploring. Like I said, he's only been in here a couple days. And those are just his Halloween decorations, which also gives him a little more coverage. And I just give him the Pangea or Repashy every single night since he's a little tiny baby. And then about 2 or 3 times a week, depending on what kind of bugs I give him, I'll either give him dubia roaches or mealworms as just a little extra protein, because it's how I've gotten him to want to start growing. Because he was really small. He still looks really small, but he is at least growing some. This is going to be Branch's final enclosure. It is a 20-gallon long reptile tank. I do want to put a piece of plexiglass right here so I can make this bioactive as well. It's just really hard to find plexiglass right now because they're being used to make like face shields and like dividers between cashiers and guests and stuff at stores. So I do want to put a piece of plexiglass here and seal it to make it bioactive. And I also want to replace this entire grid and put the bigger grid mesh in there. This was used before. I got this off Craigslist. It actually has a huge crack in the back, which doesn't matter anymore because I actually filled. I would take this off, but it's so annoying to take off. I need to find a better place for it because I didn't think about the fact of which direction it came off when I built it. So let me see if I can get it off. So here it is off a little bit, but I want to show you, I actually DIY'd the background using spray foam and Eco Earth. And then again, it has a bunch of fake plants. Oh, that fake plant isn't even stuck on there at all. Obviously, I'm going to have to go through this again before Branch ever lives in here, but I just kind of set it up just to have it because I was excited. He's still too small to be in here, but has some cork logs. It has a bunch of wood in the back, different types of wood. I have spider wood, I have driftwood, I have cork in there. And then again, I have the ledge, which is really cool, and a ton of fake plants. This is obviously where I'm going to put his food. I have been testing out misting, and that is why I want to replace this because it's so small. None of the water really goes through, which is not very good for one, humidity, and also just for him to be able to drink, it's not great. So I think I'm gonna just rip all of this out and replace it with like that hardware mesh I've been using to make the emergency cages for my evacuation bin cages. But yeah, this is gonna be his final cage. I think he's gonna really like it. If he does get too big for this, I'll upgrade him again into like this size but vertical Exoterra. But for now, this is his next cage he's gonna go into, and I'm very excited. Here is like a side view. You can see the spray foam, but I don't really care what it looks like from the side as long as he enjoys himself in there. And that is going to be Branch's next. If you enjoyed my explanation of Branch, his cage tour, and his final cage tour, I mean, that's my plan for his final cage tour. Obviously, he might get a bigger cage depending on what happens. But so far, that is his final cage that he's going to be in, and right now he's in his like intermediate cage, but he's finally growing, so I finally feel comfortable having him be in a bioactive bigger cage than that little Tupperware bin. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!